Hey guys, welcome back. Nikki Haley ended her presidential campaign with no regrets. However, she failed to endorse Donald Trump. So, we're going to help Nikki Haley get her revenge by playing TwoSeventy, my favorite political election game. Thank you for joining. My name is Brendan Borman, and this is another TwoSeventy video. The object of the game is to invest money into states, earn bonuses, electoral votes, and eventually win the White House. I'm looking at each candidate's stats to see which bonuses and which penalties affect each candidate, and we are going to start off in the big conservative national group. Hopefully, that will give us cash funds for the remainder of the game, while our opponent, it looks like, is also going to go up in big conservative. However, we are going to outpip him 2-1, so we have a significant advantage there. With it being $100,000 per pip, we can easily get that big conservative to that magic line, and we can also go up in women's movement. Despite not having policies in real life that are conclusive to women, Nikki Haley does have a bonus in the women's movement, partially because TwoSeventy is not historically accurate across the board, and they like to give women's movement to all women, just like they give African American bonuses to all candidates of color. Now, on turn number 3, we are going to complete our women's movement, and let's see what Donald Trump does. Does he go to swing states? Does he go for the Old South? His moves will dictate what we do next. While we wait for the completion of turn number 3, please consider subscribing to the channel. Help us reach our goal of 5K before Election Day. If you like election content, hit the like button, interact with me in the comments, and let's talk TwoSeventy. We are going to go up in gun lobby, complete our women's movement, and we notice that Donald Trump zero spends. He doesn't spend any money, and all of that money will roll over until the next turn. Now, oftentimes when a player zero spends, he is forcing us to defend so he can roll that money into a bigger state like a California or Texas. But in this case, I do think there's a strong chance that he will chase us in national groups and try to flip that big conservative. Now, the mechanics of the game, if it does not go at least turn 8, then I do not get a win. And so instead of defending big conservative, I am just going to double pip into Texas. I am plenty capable of winning without big conservative, and now he can chase me in the oil and gas states. As a Republican candidate, Donald Trump really relies on Texas for manufacturing and oil, and if we're able to get California, he will have to play like a Democrat candidate out of New York and Florida. Florida, he could get swing states, but he has penalties in African American, in town and gown, and does not have a high-tech bonus. At the end of turn number 4, Donald Trump is going to complete his evangelical bonus, and we are going to go up in our gun lobby bonus. That means that each player is going to have 2 bonuses aside. However, we have a significant advantage having 2 total pips already into Texas. Turn number 6. My thought process here, I can either open up into California and put significant pressure on my opponent. I could go for a big conservative steal and possibly flip the cash back into my favor. Or I could go up in oil and gas like Colorado, New Mexico. I don't know much about my opponent, and so maybe if he defends big conservative and I pressure evangelicals, maybe I might cause him to really over-defend. So I am just going to single pip evangelicals for now. I'm going to let my opponent decide if he wants to go for oil. He can go Californian oil. He can chase me in Texas, and that's fine. I can pivot later. It gives me several options. So, wow, a zero spend from Donald Trump. That's crazy. Now he has over $1 million, and we have $730,000. He's not into Texas yet, and so now I'm going to force his hand. I'm going to go into California 1 pip, New Mexico the other pip, and I thought about ending my turn there because I could go for Latino, ag, and oil and gas if I were to get Texas, California, and New Mexico uncontested. But then I thought if he chases me in Texas, I could just go right in and get my oil and gas, still have that Texas pressure, and then not worry about it. So it looks like big conservative is going to be completed on turn 7. So we got defensive. I don't hate the move, honestly. It crossed my mind. But evangelicals is locked. That is definitely aggressive. He does pressure our gun lobby. But we do enter oil successfully and uncontested. So now our 783,000. We can do 400,000 in California, $200,000 in Texas, and then 30,000 in New Mexico. That will give us the 3 bonuses I mentioned earlier: ag, oil, and Latino. And then I can 1 pip into New York, and I will have Latino money plus my national group money that I can spend $300,000 in New York on turn number 9. And that will allow me to get high tech. Very good. Okay, so there's high tech. Before the update, this also would have given me Town and Gown, which is pretty crazy. I can go up in Massachusetts and Utah to use my high tech money to get Town and Gown after turn number 9 on turn number 10, should all things be good. And then I have my agriculture money that I can open up in North Carolina. And I could possibly go next turn in Illinois to get manufacturing. But I don't have enough money at this time. So here comes Donald Trump in Texas. So he is doing the save money strategy, and we're going to get export in addition to our high-tech bonus. We now have 800,000, so we could go up to this point in Texas. I'm also going to enter into Old South states. So using my high-tech money, I'm going to enter into Maryland and Virginia. I'm already in North Carolina, and I'm already in Louisiana. So that will give me a chance at Old South. And then, again, I'm going to complete Town and Gown with Massachusetts and Utah. And there is no spending in Texas. So just the spending in California. He's down to 13 EVs. We're stacking bonuses. However, he is hoarding cash, and he could flip California in the blink of an eye. So let's spend, let's go 2 pips in California, 1 pip in Texas. Going to hedge our bets just a little bit. And then the rest of our free cash, we are going to go up in Old South, except we don't have enough money this turn to get it. So let's enter into Florida. Florida and Illinois, states that have lots of bonuses attached to them, and just give us different options if our opponent gets crazy and decides to steal California or Texas in the coming turns. Here is the next move, and we have a $150,000 spend probably in New York. Yes, it is. Let the state chasing continue. So again, if you're facing a state chaser, what you should do is expand just enough to keep bonuses coming in. Now, I've defended a lot in California and Texas, and that was because I had the bonus money to do so, and I also had a stronghold on the rest of the map. Now, eventually, this guy may decide to go all out for California or all out for Texas, but he is not going to be able to get both. So let's go up to Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, and Louisiana. Illinois will also give us that manufacturing money. And Michigan and Pennsylvania are important states. Let's get into those. Arizona with Town and Gown, Iowa with Town and Gown, New Hampshire. We could go after that swing state bonus. And then using my Town and Gown, states like Minnesota with ag, DC for African American. Can't talk today. Here we go, turn 12. There's the big California steal up to the 8th pip. Not much you can do about that. He also went into Colorado. So we're going to lose a couple bonuses. You know what? I regret not going up in Wyoming. That cost me oil and gas. I'm probably going to lose ag also. But we are going to get Old South. So we are losing a few bonuses here. There goes ag, there goes export, there goes high tech. But we do get Old South and manufacturing. So we kept Latino, kept our town and gown, which we could put that into New Hampshire. We're going to lock Colorado and then get into North Dakota, which I probably should have already been in already, if I'm being honest with myself. Open up into Georgia, which I probably should have been in Georgia already. This will allow us to get high tech back. We also are really close to African American. And we are going to defend North Carolina, maybe Virginia. Let's just go up into more high-tech states in case. We'll leave Virginia alone for now. Washington, Connecticut, and Delaware. Okay, so I like this move. Again, Donald Trump's in a position where he can't do much out of California. And Texas is already so far spent that perhaps Donald Trump should consider forfeiting, like Nikki Haley did when she dropped out after Super Tuesday's election results. I still can't believe Haley went as long as she did. It seems like the party is uniting around Donald Trump. And even Joe Biden losing to that guy from Samoa, that was pretty embarrassing. But Haley got trounced when it came to Super Tuesday. I think the only reason she was as close as she was because of so many Democrats who were voting in the Republican primaries. But I can't imagine people voting for her ever again as a Republican after her campaign. Anyway, we are going to enter into open states, as I like to do about this part of the game, anywhere from turn 10 to turn 15. As we get closer to a ballot round, just having access to multiple states gives you so many possibilities. Also, when a ballot round happens, the game's over. If you're not already in a state, you can't spend more than 1 or 2 pips. So just planning ahead for that. We could clash with our opponent and give us access. We don't necessarily need to go up to the 3rd pip in Minnesota, so I'll go back and save some money for other states like Hawaii and Nevada. I still need to get West Virginia. So we're getting closer. And hopefully, Mr. Donald Trump will hit the button pretty soon. I think we can defend a little bit in Virginia. Honestly, Donald Trump doesn't have that much money, so it doesn't make sense to defend in Virginia or any state for that matter, going all out. So let's see what happens as the timer runs down on turn 14. We're saving a little bit of oil and gas, but not much, not really much at all. So Trump is going to 0 spent. Interesting. So we won't have any clashes. We just have some locks like in Colorado and not really anywhere else. So we're not close to a ballot, although now Trump is going to have to spread his wings out just to get some EVs. Normally I would hit skip, but there's not really a reason for me to do that at this point. So we can watch the feed. I always like to look at those state symbols. One of my favorites is in South Carolina. There's a picture of the Hilton Head Island Harbortown Lighthouse where I've been on vacation before. So 484 electorals to 54. There's the swing state bonus and the ag bonus back to Nikki Haley. And now on turn 15, I could go for California. put some salt in the wound. I think instead I'll just lock North Carolina and Virginia. And defend New York. If Donald Trump were to actually come back, where would he come back? Would it be Texas? He does not. So it looks like he's going to just forfeit this game out. So I think what I'll do is maybe hit the forfeit button, give him a chance at winning. Or maybe that was only turn 1 of like a 0-0 spin where the clock ran out. If you actually hit end turn and don't spend it, it doesn't count as a 3-turn auto forfeit. So maybe I'll go one more turn. How about this? If he spends money on this turn, then I'll play it out. But if he actually doesn't, and it's going to be a forfeit on the next turn, I will forfeit on turn 17, and I'll see if I get credit for a win or a loss, because he would have auto forfeited and I would have manually forfeited. That would be an interesting. I don't know what happens under that scenario. And again, not that I want to lose, but just as a ironic, just a piece of irony, having Nikki Haley lose to Donald Trump one more time. So we're spending all of our money that we have in states with 1 pip. Couldn't quite get New Jersey, but Donald Trump is still spending. He's going to lock California. He's going for New York, going for Texas. That guy didn't know it, but he was going to win maybe if he didn't spend money. That's funny. Getting closer to the ends. New York. Defense. Oof. Double oof. So everything else is going to stay with Nikki Haley. And we're not going to have a ton to do on the ballot. Actually, we won't even. Well, we will have a ballot because California is locked. I was going to say, if California wasn't locked, we'd have another turn, but last turn, if you've made it this far, thank you. If you missed some of the stream and fast forwarded, I don't blame you. This game wasn't the most exciting, but I still think it's pretty funny. I was going to let Donald Trump win, and I was going to forfeit as Nikki Haley to represent Nikki Haley dropping out of the 2024 political race. And then he tried to do some heroic New York steal. And just out of principle, I can't forfeit to someone like that. So, going to spend almost all of my money. And the sad thing is we probably are going to either lose electorals or never mind. He's 0 spends. We're not going to lose anything. We're just going to get more popular vote, which I think is pretty cool how the app tracks that. I still don't have a clue what is what. I'm sure I could get like a Google Doc or maybe document some numbers and figure out a pattern. But there he is, a forfeit on turn number 17. Goodbye, Donald Trump. Nikki Haley gets her revenge. Except in real life, not a chance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Nikki Haley drops out of the race in real life, but wins the White House inside 270. Good game to my opponent. And until next time, this is Brendan Borman, and I'll catch ya in the next 270 video. Goodbye.